Alright, beloved, have you out here in my favorite conjured spot, under the beloved oak arches right now, getting sunly energies. That's right, we want them sunly energies. And when you're doing these things, you're conjuring. Yes, you can conjure in the middle of the day, especially planetary. When you look at craft, it's planetary. Let's not call it witches, because witches, it has to do with the deception and lying and the hiding of the taking away of life, right? Whereas there is such thing as craft. Right craft, bright craft, all sorts of stuff. Warcraft, right? Way back then. The spiritual sign that I want to show you, I believe, has something to do with the man who told me that you break up, in the ancient world, they broke up witchcraft with warcraft, right? And John Dee taught me. No, not John Dee. It was no, John Dee taught me something else. It's John Mollier, right? Because I thought through him I could ask him, what are they using to hold everybody in the vibration to believe certain things? And they were doing that back then. And they were doing it with like certain kinds of concepts, religions, ideas, bringing people into that stuff and holding people in those waveform patterns and stuff. And they did it with certain sigils and stuff like that. And they did it through taking spirits, right, off of people by taking their lives in craft and adding them to themselves, right? And then through that information they can get from the extra spirit energy, their brain gets added, right? Because this is actual witchcraft we're talking about, which is not suggested, it's not advised. It gets punished. You get to live out all those people's lives, what they should have been, in the penalty box. You get to watch them, right? Different. A little tangent, right? So we're conjuring under the oak arches. You want to find an energy center, right? So, how to get spirits, right? You want to decalcify your pineal gland, right? However you do that, that's up to you. You can get access to wavelengths and energies through the planetary system, right? Connecting with the planets. I would say if you're going to start Olympian spirits, right, it's the best way to go. And you kind of got to be a good person who hasn't, killed any humans, right? So if you're somebody who has snuffed the child out through chemical means or through deciding that it's part of your body, this isn't going to work for you because it's tied to certain activities, right? You have to get on another Sephiroth tree. You have to get on another magic, right? So we're doing magic, and magic and such, and conjuring has to do with the elements, the 4 elements and the planets. The planets power the spirits. There's earth spirits, right? There's sun spirits, right? Anyways, you're supposed to figure that out. So I'm going to show this image in case I got to get it up later. I think this one's one of John Mollier's, or one of the people he had doing witchcraft with him, I think, during that time. We're going to have to flip it around. It's the 5-pointed star with the diamonds and the 4-way crosses. Maybe it's not John Mollier's. De Mollier or whatever. Or De Molay or whatever. Whatever his name is. I don't French. Right? We don't French over here. We just have sunly energies. So, being that as it may, I want to get that spiritual image down. I think it had something to do with that era. But there is something that they were doing to knock out people who have taken a bunch of spirits, because you can have a bunch of spirits hanging on you and you can get mental energies, like access to the capacity, like adding a capacitor to you, like your brain only can hold and do so much based on your astrology and who you are, has an astro makeup, right? There's a cap and a capacity on that. Well, you can add more, and there's a bunch of ways to do it, right? One of the ways is interacting with the planets and doing funny worship. They want to see something, right? Your powers want to see something. Your powers are the planets, right? The Olympian spirits, I would say, the way to go. That's your big 5, right? Your big 5, which is Saturn on down, right? So it's going to be Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, the big 5, right? Those are what you kind of look to, and you look at their attributes, and you kind of interact with the time of year that they're famous for, the energies you can work with at any time, but you have to look at the planetary hours. You get them through the sun or the moon, obviously waxing with the moon, starting from the new moon to the full moon, waxing with a ritual for each energy you're trying to. If you're trying to have a bunch of energies at once, I would pick one energy at a time to make sure you're getting it, right? Start with sun energies. You're going to feel those the most. Working with the evening energies, you're going to feel them, but they're going to be more subtle, right? And they may dim out working with the sun, right? There's balance. You don't get everything at once, right? You get balances, right? So, capacity, right? Ways to increase capacity. 1, increasing your relationship with the powers, right? Coming to the favor train. I'm serious about that. That's actually a real thing, right? The spirits that we get access to, the waveforms that we can increase, add value, capacitate to, that are associated with this container where the body we're in, right? You can add to them. Right? One of the ways to add to them is adding spirits. Way back when, they were always like, I just need to be in the right spirit. Well, it may not be your spirit. The ideas may be coming from ghosts that are plugging into your pineal gland and giving access to some of their psychosocial mental energy in spurts based on the astrology. Because all that kind of stuff, extra aspect, comes in through aspect. Aspect. Keyword aspect. It's actually the biggest thing in astrology. You are who your astro sign is, but every day your aspect changes, right? Through the sun, moon, and what goes around. Astro tone. Later, beloved.